Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Monmouth County. My name is Liz Tortorella. My programs are She and Her. I serve on the worship committee, and this is a special day because I get to work with a guest minister whom I can already tell you is charismatic. So if you want to know more about our committee, talk to me anytime. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you are welcome here. Our mission is to create community, transform ourselves, and transform the world. This morning we welcome guest minister Reverend Frankie Timmers, and let me tell you a little bit about her. Reverend Frankie has been a minister of Centers for Spiritual Living for almost 40 years, which teaches the science of mind, founded by Dr. Ernest Holmes. She was ordained in 1994 and received an Honorary Doctorate of Divinity in 2017. She retired from the pulpit at the Center for Spiritual Living Morristown in March. She calls it re-inspired as she celebrates this new chapter in her life with rest, reading, creative hobbies, and feeling deeply grateful for her life and her freedom. It's a pleasure to have you with us, Reverend Frankie. I draw your attention to the back side of your orders of service for announcements and service information for next week. For those on the live stream and for video viewers, the order of service link is available to you in the YouTube service description box. After the service, refreshments will be served in the community room, and people of all ages are welcome to visit with one another. I'm guessing you have an announcement? Okay, I'll be done in a sec. Okay. If you are new to us, please do check out our website, uucmc.org, where you can sign up to get all the latest news of the congregation by email. We look forward to getting to know you better. Please put your devices on silent as we enter into worship together. Welcome again to this place of love and hope. After Lisa makes her announcement, I'll announce the next hymn. Lisa?
Good morning. I just want to let you know there's a Mercedes in the handicap spot with the rear gate is wide open. I'm not sure whose car it is, but you may want to go close that.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. And now, as you are able, hang on one second. Oh, yes. And now, as you are able, please rise and sing hymn number 235, Deck the Halls.
So I'm going to speak from here because we're going to be doing a hymn sing, and this is where I'm going to stay. This is a service of remembering. Christmas is way past, and this week past. Stories told to us over the years, carols that we sang, and even aromas we might remember. Certainly remembrances of family adventures during the holidays, and strange gifts, out-of-date traditions, and unusual travel. Like for us, I remember a Christmas when we went to New York City, and it was so crowded we could barely move. I mean, people were just like, we were like taking little tiny steps. It was really weird. I remember Amal and the Night Visitors, and Jan Dash is here, who played one of the kings, and Roosevelt Credit played the other king. And on Christmas Eve, Kirsten sang, and she was in the community room, and she met one of the boys who played with her, and he's now like 6'3". And he said to her, maybe we should do a reunion of Amal people. And I remember the women singing the Ceremony of Carols and how beautiful that was. And the memory of the family we celebrated the seasons with just a mere few days ago and in the past. It's a lovely remembering time, and sometimes maybe not so lovely. But a little bit blue, it can happen. For my part in the service, we will sing a couple of less familiar carols at the beginning, though Deck the Halls was not less familiar. But then you will have a chance to choose the carol that you would like to sing that you've loved over the years. And I remember sometimes people would pick a non-carol, and that's okay. I have all the hymnals here, so if you want to pick a non-carol, that's fine. And keeping with tradition, we will sing Auld Lang Syne at the end, welcoming in the new year with new memories. Enjoy these last few moments of 2025.
Thank you. For our chalice lighting, I call up Elaine Held, who's always so busy she doesn't get to do this. And I want to thank Elaine for all the music, friendship, kindness, and generosity of spirit she brings us. These chalice lighting words from John Morgan. In the end, it won't matter how much we have, but how generously we have given. It won't matter how much we know, but rather how well we live. And it won't matter how much we believe, but how deeply we love. Thank you, Elaine. And now, as you're able, please rise to enjoy hymn Carol 226, People Look East.
So the thing about this is written by a woman, and it's an old French carol. It's not something we normally sing, so that's why I thought, let's give it a whirl here. I'll play it through once, and then we'll do all three verses.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. When we tell stories, we have to sit, right? I was here for the first time a little less than 20 years ago, so I'm really happy to be back and visit with you. I remember it's almost 20 years ago because I had a new boyfriend, and we were doing the vagina monologues, and I did not want him to be here. But I told him all about it on the way home. So the story that I get to share with you is called The Empty Box by Anonymous. And it's a story about a teacher. Are there any teachers in the room? Some teachers in the room, yes. You may be familiar with this story a little bit. It's the story about David, who was a small boy with very messy brown hair and tattered clothing. The teacher often wondered what kind of home life David had, and she often asked herself what kind of mother could send her son to school dressed so inappropriately for the cold winter months, without a coat, without boots or gloves. But something made David special. It wasn't his intelligence or his manners, for they were as lacking as his winter clothes. But she could never recall looking at David and not seeing him smile. He was always willing to help, and not a day passed by that David didn't stay after school to straighten the chairs and clean the erasers. They never talked very much. He would just simply smile and ask what else he could do, and then thank the teacher for letting him stay and slowly head for home. Weeks passed, and the excitement over the coming Christmas grew into restlessness until the last day of school before the holiday break. The teacher could recall a group of very anxious children as the final bell rang and they scattered out the door. She smiled in relief as the last of them hurried out. Turning around, she saw David quietly standing by her desk. "Aren't you anxious to get home, David?" she asked. "No," he quietly replied. Ready to go home myself, or ready to go home herself, the teacher said, "Well, I think the chairs and the erasers can wait, so why don't you hurry home?" "I have something for you," he said. And he pulled from behind his back a small box wrapped in old paper and tied with string. Handing it over to the teacher, he said anxiously, "Open it, open it." So she took the box from him and thanked him and slowly unwrapped it. She lifted the lid and she saw, to her surprise, there was nothing in the box. She looked at David's smiling face and back into the empty box and said, "The box is nice, David, but it's empty." "Oh, no, it isn't," said David. "It is full of love. My mom told me before she died that love was something you couldn't see or touch unless you know it's there. Can you see it?" Tears filled her eyes as she looked at the proud, dirty face that she rarely had given much attention. "Yes, David, I can see it." And she replied, "Thank you so much." David and the teacher became good friends after that Christmas. And she can say that with the passing years, she never again let uncombed hair and dirty faces bother her. And she never forgot the meaning behind the empty box that still sits on her desk.
Every week in this congregation, we are provided with an opportunity to practice generosity. This is your invitation to contribute to the well-being of our congregation and to our social justice partners through the good works of organizations which receive half of the monies collected each month. Our Share the Plate for today, December 28th, is Habcor. That's the recipient for December. The holiday season is an especially hard time to be unhoused. Habcor, serving Monmouth and Ocean counties, is doing much to alleviate this situation by providing permanent housing for families, veterans, and those with special needs. For those of you here in the meeting house, the place will be passed by the ushers. Online, instructions are located in the service description box. You may join this time of generosity via text, send your offering by mail, or charge your contribution online with the memo designating Habcor. And while the ushers pass the plates, you may remain seated to enjoy Elaine's playing, or you might like to sing along with hymn 257, "'Twas in the Moon of Wintertime."
Okay, now we're going to sing. Okay? As if you haven't been singing. And again, choose any of those you want to sing, and I will play it for you, and we'll do at least a couple of verses. All right, first one. 255. Oh, now I don't think most of us will know this one. There's a star in the east, but Edna knows this, so we're going to sing it. Now, since it's a longer one, let's start with just verse 1 and see how it goes. Let me play through it for you so you hear it. Beautiful. As you see at the bottom, it says a traditional African American spiritual. Really, really beautiful. Okay, let's do at least through once. I don't know why we've never done that before. That's really very beautiful. All right, next one. 328. 228. Oh, wait. 228. All right, once in Royal David City. That's an old one, too. Words by Carl Sandburg. I'm looking at the bottom of the page. Written, in 1850. It's an old one. I think it's something that the Christian churches often do, and that's why we don't normally. But we will do it. Let's do 1 and 4. Next. 333. 233. Why am I not hearing clearly here? Another French carol. All right, so we'll do it in French. No, I'm kidding. No, it's okay. I'm kidding. All right, so we'll do verse 1 and 2 in English. 241. Oh, I love that one. So does McCare. All right, let's see. Let's do all 3 verses since I love this one. beautiful. Okay, let's do one more. 240. Oh, it's right there. All right, another one we don't often do. Words by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. English melody. Oh, Ralph Vaughan Williams arranged it, so it's got to be good, right? All right, so there's 5 verses. Well, let's do 3, and then we'll stop there. Let me play it through once in case you don't know it. Beautiful words. Yes. All right. I pass it on to Reverend Frankie.
Those are quite a few songs I didn't know, and I heard some great voices in the room. Thank you. Holiday Blues, with a question mark and a beautiful snowman with his face. But I have a few questions, so this is going to be a little participatory. So I'm curious, how many of you absolutely 100% love the holidays? And the reds and the greens and the lights and the food and the presents and the shopping and the decorating. Anybody here that loves it completely? 1, 2, 3. Thank goodness there are a few, and I know the crowd I'm speaking to. So then I have a next question. How many of you absolutely hate it and dread it, like 100%? The shopping and the decorating and the food and the craziness. How many of you completely, totally hate it? One person. I'm still really grateful that it's, And so it's really, if you think about it, it's a both-and thing, right? There's things about the holidays that we really love, and then there's things about the holidays that we maybe don't love so much. And I really believe that our spiritual journey or our human journey is about embracing this idea of both and. For me, when I was younger, it was more of an either-or thing. And I always struggled with it because I felt like I should enjoy the holidays more, and how come I don't enjoy the holidays more? And I grew up in the Netherlands where gift-giving did not happen at Christmas. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Because the holidays was first Christmas Day and second Christmas Day, which some people know as Boxing Day, right? And first Christmas Day was started the night before on Christmas Eve. We would go to midnight mass. I was raised Catholic in the Netherlands. And I was so excited because once we got home, there was a special kind of bread with sausage inside that was super delicious. And I got to eat as many as I wanted. And it was just the mass, and the magic of the mass was really special. special. But then we would go to bed, and then we'd have to go to Mass in the morning again. And then it was Christmas dinner, and I'm one of 9 children. And my mother was the cook. She made a special dinner. She made menus. The tables were decked out. There was 2 tables in the living room, so everyone could be seated. And I loved all of it. But I always found myself in moments of quiet where I would get nauseous. I've never been able to figure out what that was about, but there was always that both-end feeling, that feeling of, oh, magic, and I love it. And we would play games with the tree where we would turn off one light bulb and then the rest of the kids had to guess which one it was. Or we would hide baby Jesus and you'd had to go find him. So we did these fun things. I'm still blown away that my parents were okay with that part. But there was always that nauseous feeling, that feeling of, oh, what is this? It's not all so much fun. I was aware that there were people suffering in the world at an early age. I was aware that my own family was going through challenges. I was aware that there were people in the neighborhood that were struggling. I was aware that there were people who didn't have as much food as we did. And so here was the both end at a very young age when in my mind I could not make sense of it. And then there was Sinterklaas. Elaine and Rich are very familiar with Sinterklaas because when I came to the United States, I decided I'm going to do a tradition that I love, and that's it. And so Sinterklaas was where this saint who took care of children and mothers would come from Spain in his boat. It was a bit of a racist story because his helpers were all black. And they were the Moors, but he would come by boat to the Netherlands and deliver presents through the chimney. And so we would, as a family, would draw names from each other from a hat, and then we'd make a crazy, silly, fun present with a rhyme that was about that person or about that gift. And we would take turns. And because we were 11 of us and partners, we would spend all evening unwrapping presents and challenging everybody by opening the presents. And it was such a fun experience that when I came to the United States and I was all by myself, I had no family and friends, I decided this is my opportunity to create the kind of time and experience I want during the holidays. This is my chance. Because if you think about it, the holidays do have that both end, right? We know now that loneliness is an epidemic in our country, I would say in the world. So there's this getting together with family and friends, and then for some of us, for some of you, it's going home and being alone and having a lot of heartache around it. Maybe some of you lost someone very dear to you this year, and the holidays just don't feel the same. Maybe some of you are so stressed out from shopping and spending money and cooking that you cannot wait for this all to be over. And maybe some of you say, oh, I wish it never ended and it would be like this forever because I get to see my family and I get to be generous and I get to see the decorations. My Norman and I went driving around after Christmas Eve service at his church in the neighborhood. We live in New Brunswick. And we were in East Brunswick, and there was this house that was so decked out. And they had a sign out front. Some of you may be familiar with this. It's new to me. That says, turn on your radio at channel 102.3. And the music that was being played at the house was being played over our radio in the car. And it was all very fancy LED digital lights. And I loved that. I will never have that at my house. But I loved seeing the creativity and seeing cars literally drive very slowly around the neighborhood to have a chance to park in front of the house because it was in a cul-de-sac. I mean, really? I bet the neighbors were thrilled. But it was so unique and it was so fun, and we remembered there was a house last year that had a big box outside with candies for anyone to take. And that's what he wanted, but we couldn't find it. And so there's this experience of all the opposites and everything in between, right? If I would say here, is there anybody here who has never experienced the both end of the holidays? I would say that nobody would put up their hand because it's so much a part of our experience. So then what are we to do? Well, I think first of all, we are to just sit in that. To just sit in the both end. To sit in that place of sometimes we're lonely and sometimes we're excited to see family and friends. Sometimes we're worried about spending money on gifts, and sometimes we feel incredibly generous and we find the perfect right thing for this person that we love so much. And sometimes we love to decorate and we love the smell of pine and see the lights and light the candles and just sit with a hot cup of tea or cocoa or coffee and just enjoy the evening and enjoy the presence of the energy that is being experienced all over the world. So the idea then is, can I just be in that? Can I just accept whatever is at the moment? And can I allow myself to look for the things that truly bring me joy, that give me the experience of the energy of the holidays, the excitement, the fun, the beauty? So we get to ask ourselves a question. And this is a question that I ask myself a lot. And it's the question, what would I love? So I want you to take a moment and close your eyes and just ask yourself, if I had a magic wand and I could do whatever I wanted during the holiday season, what would that be? If I could only do what I would love and there would be no limitations, no boundaries, no blocks, what would that be? And allow one thing to rise up in your heart and your mind that is maybe new, or that has maybe been there for a very long time, but you've never given yourself permission to do this because of all the expectations. Maybe two things. What is one thing that would make such a big difference for you going through the holidays? What is one thing that would make you feel more grateful, more blessed? More alive, more nourished? And so now open your eyes. Did anybody get anything that you'd like to say out loud? Nothing? Yes?
My first thought was to be able to, since it was a magic wand, to be able to go back in times when the kids were little.
To be able to go back in time when the kids were little. Yeah.
I would like to be able to visit my family. They live in the South and I have to fly and I can't do it anymore.
Yes, you'd like to visit your family because you can't do it anymore. You'd like to visit them. Yes. Anybody else? Yes.
I have my grandparents and parents also be at the Christmas table.
Grandparents and parents who have passed away. So, with a magic wand. So the interesting thing is that what I hear is things that almost seem impossible, right? Because people have passed, because children have grown up, because we can't travel. The beauty of this is we can do this in our imagination. It has been scientifically proven that when you imagine something and when you're actually experiencing it, it's the same to the physical body, to the mind, and to the heart. So it's a wonderful thing to take some time during the holidays and just sit in a chair and close your eyes and imagine that you're being with your kids when they're little, that you're with your family, or the family that's passed on, to just feel that feeling, because life is connected. There's only one life. There's only one thing happening. It's all connected. It's all one. Some people say that we're living multiple lifetimes in this one. I can sometimes barely completely manage this one, so I'm not really interested in that. But I've also lost 4 siblings and my parents, and I can literally feel their presence when I close my eyes, I place my hand on my heart, and I listen to what they had to say. Sometimes I ask them for advice. They're happy to give it to me, as they were in life. So these are things that we can do instead of feeling grief, although grieving is important. I think we live in a culture where we don't grieve well, so we see crazy things happening, right? But grieving is about love. And many people experience more grief during the holidays than at any other time of the year. But those can be moments where we can sit and reflect and feel their presence and feel their love, because the reason we grieve is because we loved. So to feel their presence of their love in our hearts and let it nourish us and fill us up and feed us. And some of you maybe had this thing of not really wanting to do Christmas, not wanting to decorate, not wanting to be shopping, not wanting to buy gifts. Just be with that feeling, and maybe next year you can buy one gift less, or decorate a little bit less. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. It's not either or, right? It's both and. So to create a space where you say, I am doing more of what I love and more of what I would want to do. So the box, the empty box. What do you think was in it when little David gave it to his teacher, besides love? Goodwill. Hope. Gratitude. Yes, we all have an empty box. Or at least we can create the experience of having an empty box. Lao Tzu, the creator of Taoism, the 6th century wise man, once said in the Tao Te Ching, which only has 81 verses, I'd pick that any day over the Bible. Verse 11, he said, the usefulness of a pot comes from its emptiness. The usefulness of a pot comes from its emptiness. And so we can literally have a box or an imaginary box and sit with it at a time of reflection throughout our days. I mean, we have 4 days left in 2025. For me, it's a very meditative, reflective time. I pick my new books for the next year to read. I pick my new journals. I think about what was the year, what was the best, what was the worst, or whatever words I want to use. And I think about what are some of my intentions for the next year. I don't do resolutions. I have never met anyone in my 68 years of life who has had a resolution and had completed it by the end of the year. But there's a language thing, right? We can use intention, desire, something I would like to fill my empty box with, something I would really love. And so this is a really great time of the year to reflect on that, to think about what is it that I would like to experience in the new year. And in our culture, a lot of the time it's about stuff or about health or our weight, but this is all good, but we can ask the deeper questions. And one of the deeper questions is, how do I want to be in the presence of others? And I would say that you want to pick someone in your life that's challenging you. Whether it's a politician or a neighbor or a family member or someone from your past, to say, how do I want to be in the presence of this person? Because it's not about how they are being or who they are, but how we want to be as a way to expand our consciousness, grow as a human being, and be a more kind to life. It is so easy to be kind to good people that you love, right? Piece of cake. I've seen it here all morning. You're all so kind to each other. But to be kind to somebody that you're struggling with, it can be very challenging. But I think we have to remember that these are people who also have a heart and soul, even though it doesn't seem that way sometimes. I know. But it's an energetic thing. You don't have to visit with this person. You don't have to apologize to them. You don't have to hug them or kiss them. You can just kind of think about, how would I want to be in their presence from a place of higher consciousness, a higher way of being, a kinder way of being, and to practice that. Because practicing it, you will bump into some things that are not so pretty or comfortable. But that's okay, because it's in the discomfort that we grow, where we bump into our growing edges, right? Those uncomfortable moments or people or places or things, those are exactly our growing edges. And we are really here to grow and to expand in consciousness. So I take a lot of time to then journal, reflect, meditate, play with. I like to do arts and crafts, so I use arts and crafts like a vision board, things like that. So I invite you to take some time to do this. And then the reason that the resolutions don't always work is because they tend to be outer focused. They tend to be a little more superficial, right? But when we set a clear intention, to visit that clear intention every single day. Maybe journal about it every day. Maybe talk to a friend about it every day. But to really be with it every day, and then also say, where do I see myself at the end of the year practicing and living this intention? Now, it's important to not beat yourself up if you forget a day or a week or a month, because that doesn't serve you or anyone else. That's when we practice compassion and we bring ourselves back. In our spiritual community, at this time of year, we do practice a burning bowl ceremony, and we did. And so one of the things that I did last year is I had them write down on a little piece of paper what they would love to experience in 2026 for the world. For the world. A prayer for the world. And then we had scrolls and we hung them up on the wall. And then the next few weeks I said, how you doing? Because what happens is that when we write down that prayer, we will be personally challenged to live that prayer. So let's say that you want peace in the world. Then you have to practice peace inside yourself every single day, because as within, so without. So it becomes a demanding practice, but it's okay to have fun with it, to have lightness with it, to have compassion with it, and to have patience with it. So these next 4 days, just think about what it is that you want to let go of and leave behind in 2025. And what it is that you would like to embrace in the new year. Some of you might say, yeah, well, in a pig's eye, that's not going to happen. That's okay too, because that is another growing edge that we can all embrace. Because we all have something, right, that we would love, but we don't feel very hopeful that it can become, that it can happen. So, some of the things that you are all talking about during the What Would I Love, and especially the ones that didn't share, which is the majority, I'm going to pass this box around, and I want you to fill it up. Well, it's kind of full already, so I might have to tape these pieces together. Because I've had this on my altar for a few weeks, and I have filled it with all kinds of things: love, joy, hope, peace, harmony, grace, healing, remembrance, joy, aliveness. I'm coming from memory here. What else could we put in here? I'm going to do something different. What else could we put in this box once I pass it around? Forgiveness. What do you need? What do you want? What would you love? Clarity. Shout it out, people. This is your chance. Joy. Courage. Perseverance. Resolution. Resilience. Wholeness. Peace. Just imagine that this box is filled and overflowing with anything you could possibly want to experience in your heart. I'm going to pass it around, and you take what you need. So take a moment, because we're just going to pass it around till the end of the service. Just sit with it for a moment and just take what you need. Place it on your heart. Take it with you. Remember it. So that when the you-know-what hits the fan sometime in the next few days, weeks, months, you can put your hand on your heart and kind of go, oh, right, I took hope from the box. Let me, hope, 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 hope. Yes? Are you up for that? All right, so I'm going to give it to you. Lisa, right? Yeah, Lisa. So take it and allow it to go around, and just for a moment, feel that and receive it. Because the truth is that we live in the both end. We live in the both end. It's never the either or. And if we can take that understanding a little bit deeper, it helps us not only to make peace with ourselves and our fellow human beings, but also with the things that we've experienced in our lives in the past, the struggles that we may have had, the challenges that we may have had, to just make peace with them and to see the opportunity for growth. I don't know about all of you, but I'm making assumptions. When I look back at my life and I look at some of the hardest things I've been through, they were also the most growthful. And they shaped me in a way that I can now say I'm grateful for and proud of. And so the holidays really is about staying open, staying receptive, being kind, being helpful. And then it's about, when you take something out of that box, is to really receive it. Because there's always that little part of us that doesn't feel worthy, or has a hard time really receiving so much good. And to really receive it, accept it, welcome it, and place it in our hearts, knowing that it shall be there forever. So now I do a little guided thing. Okay, let's do that. All right, so I invite you again to close your eyes. And just place your hands on your heart, both of them, one hand on top of the other. And just take a breath. Allow your belly to fill and expand. And then allow it to, the out breath, to just kind of come back to its natural state. And just take a moment to welcome, to actually believe. I love that saying about belief on your door, your front door. To actually believe that a greater sense of freedom is possible. A greater experience of health and love and creativity and joy is available right here, right now. That there's really nothing in the way except our own thinking, our own beliefs, our own fears and anxieties and worries. And so they are actually there for us to let go. To let go and to trust that hope and love and peace and harmony and grace is ever available from the inside out, and that we are here to share it with others unconditionally. Unconditionally. And so whether this happens out loud or quietly, whether it happens at home or in the grocery store, or in New Jersey traffic, it can happen anywhere when we are fully present, knowing that we've been given everything we need to live a life well lived. And so now open your eyes and your hands and cup them in front of you. And then I'm going to turn around and you're going to do this. Because the more you give, the more you receive, right? And so it is.
And we will end the service with Auld Lang Syne.
Did I go too long? It's okay. Yeah. I don't know. I lost track of time.
When you do this, just, keep it
Real short.
Pleasure to know you.
So let's remember one thing, which is when we place our hands on our hearts, to also put the world, all of humanity, all of the feathered, footed, winged beings, just the earth itself, place it in our hearts and extend our prayers in whichever way feels right for you. Thanks again for having me. Have a beautiful New Year's. Take one in.